What's up, everybody? Got a new head unit here from Eonon again. This is the upgraded version of the one that's already in the Gulf. So we're going to be trying it out, seeing what the new features are, and just checking it out in general. The Audi's in the garage too, just relaxing for winter. So we got about 15, 16 inches in the Chicagoland area, so it's been pretty cold. I have a heater out here, so that's nice at least. So this is the new packaging for one that you buy today. So it looks like your screen is first. So with the screen, size-wise, be exactly the same as the one that's in there, but the internals is what's upgraded here. So it looks like button-wise, got the same functionality. We got the nice touch panel buttons down there, and then we got the mic and the reset button on the front. And then on the back here, I believe this is a little different from the first one, but got your GPS antenna, your radio antenna, and then all your connectors and your main power connector there. So similar layout, still super nice and thin compared to what's in there now. So if you want to run like an external amp or anything like that, it comes with all the wiring for all that to be done. You can fit it behind the head unit in the stock location too, which is nice. You don't have to run it to the trunk or anything like that. And then on the other box here is all of our connectors. Got a pin out if you want to change any of the pins. It actually tells you what each one is, which is nice. And this just follows exactly what's on the back of your head unit here, just so you know what's doing what. And then here it tells you everything that it comes with, what each cable actually does, which is pretty cool. And then a back with a number so you can relay it back, which is really nice. And then here's all the wires that come in the bag here. So definitely a hefty amount of wires, but with everything laid out so easily, you can kind of tell pretty easily what gets plugged into what. And that was my experience with the first one too. It's just pretty easy to work. So we've got two different USB cables. One is for CarPlay, and it has a slightly different plug than just the normal charging port one. So these two are just for charging. But yeah, this one's the actual CarPlay one. So those two. And then this guy here is your actual main harness adapter for the car itself. So that's going to plug into your harness that you're unplugging from your head unit now. And then this is the plug that goes right into there where it says power. So this is your main harness here. You got a fuse in the line, and then your Canbus adapter to make everything work with your car. The heating, air conditioning to show up on the screen, the door open and close if you want that. Pretty much anything to your steering wheel controls, all that. That's exactly what all that's doing. So then we've got a couple remote wires. One can be for an external amp. So this also plugs in. And then you've got all of these options for an external amp. So you got video options, external microphone, auxiliary inputs, pretty much everything you can think of. So this one here is for your reverse camera control. So you've got your backup, your reverse wire, your ground, and then your actual backup video camera signal. So I bought one from eBay, and that's what's in there now, and it uses all these same plugs. So if you do have the OEM reverse camera, they do sell a separate adapter to make that work with their harness and everything. You don't really have to do any wiring. Then you've got your radio adapter antenna. So then it just adapts this, goes in the back of the head unit, and you've got a remote start wire for it. So it gets some power. You got a GPS antenna if you're using that, which just twists on there. And then your external microphone. So all of those can all be used. This thing has a ton of functionality to it. If you actually used everything on this, you'd be pretty set up. So let's go ahead and install it in place of our old one. Okay, so here's the original head unit that I installed. I don't know if I ever showed the new shift boot that I got here either, but just some stuff to kind of upgrade the interior here, make it look a little nicer. But obviously the head unit is the most helpful part of that. To have Apple CarPlay in here just, I don't know, makes it feel a lot nicer. So to remove the head unit, you lift up on this trim. It's just a plastic trim. Just slide your fingers across and pop it out. The main clips that are hard are the ones that are on these thin parts, because it feels like you're gonna break it, but you won't. You just gotta pry away. pull those out. If you have a plastic pry tool, that's even better, obviously. But that's how you take that out. So I've got a T20 screwdriver here. So there's 4 screws holding this on. I also have the phone mount here, so that just gets screwed on top of them, but same thing, 4 screws. Alrighty, so now that those are removed, just go ahead and pull this forward. And this is the same if you have the stock head unit as well. It's just a lot larger behind here. So here we go. So you can see they did change the design a little bit, and it looks like they added more ventilation on the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything unplugged, and then we'll compare this one versus the one that we have now. So just got everything reconnected here. So just to go over it once again, you've got your antenna, and that's an adapter from the OEM antenna, which is here, this white to blue plug. Then you've got your GPS antenna, which mine is mounted right up here on the dash. You've got all your peripheral cables. So this is if you have external amplifiers. You got your USBs, reverse cameras, video lines, everything like that. And then you've got your main power harness here with a fuse on it as well. So now all that's connected, let's go ahead and tuck this back up in here. Everything fits perfectly, that we have so much room back there now. So let's go ahead and do our first startup. Alright, that was pretty sick. There's our new startup, which is pretty awesome. So this is our new interface here, which definitely looks a lot more updated. And we've also got a speedo there too, which is pretty awesome. I don't know if you can see how fast the screen is here, but it's super fast. So let me connect to my internet. That was satisfying. Okay, let's go ahead and check out what we got here. So we got an initial. So that's going to be your, looks like that's a new app that they added in to add that in. So that is pretty cool. And then you can add all these other apps there instead if you want. Here's our kind of menu of the apps that are already installed. Definitely an updated and really responsive screen here. I have to connect the phone to Bluetooth first. So let's go ahead and connect. Our pins just 4 zeros, pair, and then just like that we are good to go. So if you're wanting to use the CarPlay, for now you hit that and then you hit the Z-Link and then you hit that. Okay, so that worked. But yeah, so that hooked up right away, and it's wireless too. I didn't even have to hook up the cord to go through the USB to connect it originally. It just worked right away. And then for CarPlay, we've got everything working already. So as soon as we're hitting it, it's going perfectly. And then while I'm in this other menu, my music does still play, which is pretty cool. Doesn't just turn off. So let's check out our settings here. Oh, and themes. Oh, actually, so we've got 3 different themes. So let's go ahead and check out our settings here, which this setting looks a lot nicer to navigate compared to the previous version. So that's pretty cool too. So you've got all your apps, your recently opened apps. You can set your default app for internet and all that stuff. Think of it as essentially as a touchscreen or a tablet, because it's just exactly what it is. So we're using 13 gigs and we have 32 gigs available, which are still really good considering you can put, you know, however many albums that is on here. It's got plenty of storage in my opinion for that, pictures, whatever really. You got your display options here, you got your brightness levels. So you can go all the way dark, all the way bright. Brightness mode, I'm gonna leave that at auto. Sound options here, I'm just gonna leave them as default. Navigational settings, just picking use navigation, which I use Google Maps, so I'm gonna leave that as on. Personal settings here, languages, I'm good with what I got. Date and time, got our Google account, so we can sign into our Google there. I'm good on mine. And then system here, we've got reset, system update, system info, factory reset, and settings and passwords. So here's all your system info. And again, this is running Android 13, which is pretty cool. You can see that right down there. So this is definitely one of the few head units that has this so early in the game. So, and then assembly, we've got Canbus settings, LED control, camera settings, driving assistance, radio settings, and steering wheel learning. So speaking of that, let's see. Yep, steering wheel's working right away. Didn't have to do any learning. It all worked. Fast forward, skip, everything like that. And then let's see if our heating and air conditioning will show up. Yep. And that actually is a lot better than that original. So here's your actual Canbus settings. If you want to mess around with any of that. I personally do not know how to mess with it, so I'm going to leave it alone. This is if your camera doesn't show up right. So let's see how mine looks. I'm going clutch in and going into reverse. Okay, so I'm probably going to have to change a couple of these. There we go. NTSC. That's what my eBay camera is. Just so everyone's aware. So if your camera doesn't show up, pull down from the top. Go to frame. You got frame, camera, and your assist lines here. So you can change where the lines are if you want to change them to higher or lower, which is pretty awesome. And then left, right, you can go in or out with them, which is also pretty awesome. And then camera, mine happens to be NTSC. So depending on what you got, just click around until one of them works, essentially. Your brightness level, which I might go all the way or a little further down because this thing is overexposed a little bit. And then your contrast here, so you can have more white in or more black if it's a little too overexposed. So mine looks right about there is a good sweet spot. And then it also shows if you have the parking sensors, it'll show that on the side. My car doesn't have that, so it's just showing blank for me. But if you have those, it'll show with the Canbus, it'll pop up. So, and then when I go out of reverse, it just goes right back. And then it shows that my hood is up because my hood is in fact up. Super nice to use. So here it just picks it up right away. Instantaneous. So everything loads really fast. And it just works really nice. So switch songs right away there. But yeah, really nice so far. Touchscreens working really well. And then obviously wiring is one of the best things with this by far, because wiring for someone that doesn't know how to do wiring that well is typically the hardest part of putting an Eddie head unit. So the fact that they made this plug and play with this many features is really awesome. So here, let's check out the equalizer settings. Yeah, so here's all these settings. So we got a ton of presets here with a moving equalizer, which is pretty awesome. And you can do custom and have it just in your old EQ here. But yeah, I mean, this is really nice to have. So you can change the different views here, and then you can change where you want the main speaker to be hearing from. So if you can get a low pass filter, and then your max volume, and then you've got your subwoofer control. That worked. You can always use this instead and then just turn off the sub like that. So, but yeah, and it worked instantaneously too, which is nice. So, and then if you want to check, if one speaker is working versus another, or turn up volume or anything like that, you can do it all from here. So, but yeah, I mean, any of these presets, that animation is really cool. You've got loudness settings, and then looks like you can make 3 custom presets for yourself as well. So that is pretty awesome. Panel light color. Oh, okay, your colors when your lights are on here. There we go. Hopefully you can see those. I'm probably gonna go with a red since it'll match my other colors here. Alright, that looks pretty close. I will take that. So you can change that. You've got your radio settings, GPS monitor settings, maps, mirror settings to mirror your phone. So you can do audio and video. Got your music here, screensaver, wallpaper, YouTube, your Z-Link, which is your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, your themes, settings, torque, video, and voice search. So yeah, you got pretty much everything you could ever need for a head unit that I can think of. So yeah, really fast, super intuitive. I'm gonna add the Z-Link to the front here. There we go. So then I can hit that right away to go to CarPlay, and then I'll add YouTube here. And then now we've got those two. So put my screws back in and we'll take a final look at what it looks like. Alrighty guys, so just put those 4 screws back in. Got my car mount back. Very nice fitment on that. The head unit fits in there perfectly. And this is just the stock trim, so didn't have to change anything. And yeah, just like that, we are upgraded to Android 13. So definitely would recommend this upgrade for anyone that has the old head unit, or obviously going from the OEM head unit. This is a huge upgrade. I think it's definitely worth it. So if you guys are interested in getting one of these, all the links will be in the description. And again, this is one of the only head units out there right now with the Android 13. So that does make a pretty nice upgrade for this type of car, especially Mark 6s with no Apple CarPlay, no nothing like that. So definitely a nice update and really changes the inside of your car for the better. So yeah, with that being said, if you guys want to check this out, or Eonon in general, check out the links in the description and feel free to pick one up. And yeah, thanks for watching guys, I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Life for me, how they got life for me when they took that from me. Since I had my nose, yeah.